Hey, welcome back to Views on Brews. I am Brendan, and this is Mourne Mountains Brewery's Groove Armada Export Stout. It's 5.8%, and it is part of their cannon line. They seem to have this really, really nice label wrap design around a lot of their beers. I'll try and show you a close up. I've got a sticky label on there because these were sent down in a box. We do a bit of a bottle and can share with a couple of lads from up north. Cheers, Steve and Neil, if you're listening in. But let's get into this beer. Let's get it into the can, actually. What a nice roasty, toasty export stout. You know, in an export stout, you expect the roast to be there. You expect it just to be a bit more of a stouter stout, shall we say. It's in the 5.8% region, really nice. Decent looking beer on the pour, except for my glass. Could have done with a... Yeah, we're just catching a bit of the bubbles on there. That's my fault. A nice tan coffee mocha head on the top of it. Relatively compact, dense bubbles on the top as well. Get a nice roast on the nose as well. Can't see much coloration coming through, so we're pretty dark as well. Let's just see what it says in the can while I take a sniff. There's a nice kind of, there's a roasty bit on here, but there's also a bit of sweetness and a bit of fruitiness of some description. That might be from the yeast in here. What else has gone into this? Now, it just says barley, wheat. That's wheat. Okay, that's where I'm getting that fruity sort of, just a light sort of different complexion to the malt, I guess. Yeah, and it's that roasty kind of note to it. So this is just a proper full-on roasty sort of export stout. You know, when you drink a beer like this, you're expecting a whole bunch of pale malt backed up with unmalted roasted barley to give it that, you know, that signature sort of roastiness. But you're also going to get a bit of perhaps flake barley in here. In this instance, it's wheat in this one. Fills out the body, fills out the beer, creates a bit of head retention to the beer, which it definitely does have. Cheers, Slancher. Let's try this beer out. Very nice on the nose, very sort of roasty, toasty, bit biscuity even, actually. Yeah, there's a bit of a biscuity element to this. I like that. This is to be had with, you know, on a cold day by the fireplace. It's a real kind of food pairing type of export stout. Perfect sat there with a nice casserole, or, you know, just an Irish beef stew or lamb stew. Something along the lines of a hearty, warming meal beside this beer. By a turf fire, be really traditional, but it's also really just a nice tasting roasty beer. And it tastes kind of exactly how the lift of the aromas leads you to suspect before you've even had a sip. A bit of caramel going on in there for sure. Ooh, it's really nice, but it's not acrid. There's a nice bit of we've got the wheat in there, so that's giving it kind of like a different malty complexion. Wheat has its own sort of signature sort of sweety bready sort of idea going on. You don't get too much of that in it, but there's something in the background you can't put your finger on, but this is definitely the contribution of wheat to this export stout. Let's give it another go. It's really one of those beers that you close your mouth and just draw it across the palate. It's just that nice roasty bite to it, but it's not in any way acrid. There's no harshness. Doesn't get to the totally like ashen malt. Doesn't get to that really harsh black patent malt. I'm sure there's some black malt gone in here at some stage, but really, really nice. And what is it like on the bitterness? There's a bit of supporty bitterness. Maybe it's a bit earthy. Maybe it's a bit minerally. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that there's some kind of, you know, Fuggles or East Kent Goldings, something gone in here just to give it a bit of additional support to the malt character. Hops in this kind of a beer, they're just meant to bitter the beer so that it carries along with a bit of balance. And they've done a superb job here. Really nice export stout. I like the 5.8%, I think it was it 5.8%? Yeah, it just keeps it just in a sort of an area where, you know, you could have a couple of these beers. You know, it's not like 6.5% and you're knocked out after a couple. Nice. There is kind of like an earthy. I wonder if is that the Fuggles EKG, or is it the yeast, or is it just a totally different hop in here at all? Maybe it's an American one, maybe it's Chinook or something. Feels like an English hop in here. I'd love to know the hop. Maybe if I can find it out online, I'll put it up on the screen. But I think the choice of hop in here has done this a lot of good. Anyway, cheers, sláinte, and